Hey everyone, welcome back to Inside the Cage, where we bring you the latest and exciting updates of UFC. Charles Oliveira still hasn't watched Islam Makhachev loss. Are you ready for the event of UFC 289 happening this weekend? Yeah, the thrilling show has scheduled on Saturday, June 10th, 2023. Meanwhile, Charles Oliveira is hitting the reset button. Now, the former UFC lightweight champ is back in action after his unbeaten streak of 12 fights came to a halt in October 2022. It was a shocker for sure. Oliveira, the submission master and record holder in the promotion, got caught in a second-round arm triangle choke by Islam Makhachev. Surely you gotta see the highlights. Oliveira is all ready to bounce back and show us what he's made of. It's gonna be an epic comeback. Do Bronx's highly entertaining offense displayed during his run was rendered ineffective by Makhachev's pressure. Now he prepares to rebound in a big way against another ultra-talented top contender, Beneil Dariush. About that other fight, I didn't watch it, Oliveira said at UFC 289 Media Day. It wasn't me. I wasn't there. This is a different Charles. This is a Charles that's thirsty. The Charles you're going to see is the Charles that you know, that's thirsty for victory, that's hungry. Someone who is back at it, and a lion who is always hunting. That's the Charles that you're going to see. When my manager Diego Lima told us about the fight, he said, "Hey, I have a new challenge for you," he continued. "There's a new step that you need to take on your way to the top." When I came here, every single time it was cold. It was snowing. Things are changing. It's nice. It's warm. It's beautiful out. Things are changing. Things are different. This is a new moment. This is a new Charles. Things are going to start changing as well, back to the top. Both Oliveira and Dariush are stepping into the octagon this weekend with one goal in mind: securing the next lightweight title shot against Makhachev. Guys, the stakes are high. The champion himself is set to make his grand return at UFC 294 on October 21st, 2023, in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. It's a race to the top, and these fighters are hungry for that title shot. Jake Paul, Jorge Masvidal come face-to-face in parking lot. It seems like things got pretty heated in Miami when Jake Paul and Jorge Masvidal crossed paths, because they had a little chat about their past escapades right there in a parking lot. And of course, in true social media fashion, the whole thing was caught on camera and shared all over the internet. As Paul strutted out of the Superior Warehouse, he made his way towards Masvidal, surrounded by their respective crews and a sea of cameras. It's like a real-life showdown. "Why are you trying to cause trouble?" Paul asked. Masvidal replied, "Nah, it's my city." "It's your town, so you own here?" retorted Paul. "You've been saying a lot on the Ariel Helwani show. You called me a punk B-teach." Masvidal confirmed, "I did." Certainly their conversation is going on to stay in the spotlight. Whether they're genuinely interested in facing off or just playing mind games, only time will tell. Masvidal told MMA Junkie Radio, "Right now, there's no one that I can really think of to call." But they already burst that bubble because I always thought it would be a great fight for me, and that all I could do out there and make a lot of easy money would have been Jake Paul. But that ship has sailed now that it has lost that zero. Maybe he'll come back and get some winnings and stuff, but he's probably the only dude because he's easy money. I don't think I was going to sell a big pay-per-view with him because he doesn't bring those types of pay-per-views, but me getting into boxing, who knows? Maybe I'll be good enough for myself. Could do and get some good pay-per-views. Furthermore, Jake Paul has a boxing match lined up against Nate Diaz on August 5th in Dallas. At the moment, Jorge Masvidal is a free agent. So, keep an eye out for any updates on Masvidal's future ventures. Israel Adesanya advice to Alex Pereira for his upcoming fight. You see, Pereira is gearing up for his upcoming fight against Jan Blachowicz at UFC 291. But recently, Pereira lost his UFC middleweight title to Adesanya back in April, so you can imagine the significance of this conversation. During their brief interaction, Adesanya took the opportunity to share some valuable advice with Pereira. Adesanya, while appearing on the Impulsive podcast with Logan Paul, spilled the beans on what he told Pereira. After his loss, he decided to make a bold move and jump to the light heavyweight division. This upcoming fight against Blachowicz will be his debut in this new weight class. Now, wait and see how Pereira performs at UFC 291 on Saturday, July 29th at the Vivint Arena in Salt Lake City, Utah. Just imagine the nerves and anticipation surrounding this fight. We talked, went through security, took our shoes off, and then we're waiting for our bags to come through the belt, and then we talked about, I was like, Jan next, yeah? He's fighting the guy, first MMA loss for me, when I went up to 205 pounds. He kinda has the same idea. In their previous encounter at UFC 259, Israel Adesanya lost over Jan Blachowicz. He stated, "Through our limited conversation skills because of his English and my Portuguese, we kinda had the same idea of what's gonna happen. But I had to let him know. I thought the same thing when I fought Jan. I thought Jan was going to attack me a little bit more, but he was patient. So I kinda let him, Pereira, know, you be patient too. I didn't want to say too much, but yeah." Amanda Nunes will be ready for Pena after UFC 289 clash with Irene Aldana. There is another time when Amanda Nunes is all gearing up for her first title defense. She is reclaiming the championship in a rematch with her bantamweight rival Juliana Pena in 2022. Despite Pena being a former UFC champion, Nunes refused to step away from mixed martial arts. Now, the Lioness is ready to make her highly anticipated return to the octagon this Saturday night as the headliner of UFC 289 in Canada. Nunes will defend her women's bantamweight world title against the fifth-ranked contender Irene Aldana. Originally, Nunes was supposed to complete her trilogy with Pena, the only woman to have defeated her in nearly a decade. Although Nunes' loss to Pena in 2021 feels almost surreal now, it was a shocking upset that threatened to bring an end to Nunes' career. At the UFC 289 media event on Wednesday, Nunes addressed rumors of retirement following the loss. Fans began to wonder if she already had one foot out the door. "When you hold the belt for so long and then lose it, you get sad and you don't know what to do, honestly," Nunes said. "Because you work so hard. I worked my whole life for that day, and then to see it go away like that with somebody I know I'm better. That was hard to see, to watch after. For a couple of moments I was a little confused about the whole thing, but as soon as I got home, because I'm driving back and I take a couple days to be at home, and I was thinking about a lot of things, what I can do, what I have to change. I thought about a lot of things and I decided not to retire. Because leaving my belt with Juliana? No way. It can be with somebody else, but Juliana, no. And I know I can kick her at any time I want. That day was a day I'm thinking she's supposed to win that day. I'm supposed to make the mistake that I made, to fight without being in great shape, and I paid for it, and I'm never going to do that again. Ever." 8 more fighters released in second UFC roster purge. In the last, the UFC machine keeps churning, to signed new ones and others being shown the door. Just a couple of days ago, 7 athletes received their pink slips from the MMA giant. But the roster trimming doesn't end there. 8 more fighters have now been removed from the UFC rankings, a clear indication that they've been released. According to UFC Roster Watch, the recently released fighters include Don Shainis in the featherweight division, Takashi Sato in the welterweight division, Aaron Phillips and Journey Newsom in the bantamweight division, and Nick Fiore, Eric Gonzalez, or Orion Koshe in the lightweight division. While some of these fighters were winless in their UFC careers. How sad. Sato, from Japan, had 7 successful UFC fights under his belt. But unfortunately, he suffered 4 consecutive losses. Hard luck. Another notable name on the release list is Maxim Grishin. The 39-year-old veteran had a successful career before joining the UFC and managed to win 2 out of his 5 fights in the promotion. However, his most recent bout against Philippe Lins at UFC Vegas 73 ended in a loss, leading to his departure from the organization. It's a tough reality in the world of professional fighting, where wins and losses heavily influence a fighter's standing and future opportunities. As the UFC continues to make room for new talent, these fighters will now have to regroup and determine their next steps in the MMA journey. All right, guys, that's all for today. Thanks for watching till the end. Remember to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel to stay updated about our future videos. See you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.